Welcome to Rosalind the Pet Psychic's podcast, the show where animal intuition meets untold stories. I'm Rosalind, your host and pet psychic. Each week, we dive into the unbelievable, the heartwarming, and sometimes the downright haunting tales from the animal world, told by the people who live them, whether it's a horse who knew too much and spilled the tea, a trainer who crossed the line, or a pet with a message from beyond. We're here to explore the deeper truths behind the stories that leave us wondering, what do our animals know that we don't? This program may include real names, places, and events when shared with consent, as well as stories that have been anonymized or fictionalized to protect the identity and safety of individuals. The content of this podcast is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. Views expressed by the host and guest are personal opinions and conjecture and should not be interpreted as fact or as professional advice. With some episodes may include educational insights or expert commentary, listeners are encouraged to use their own judgment and consult appropriate professionals when needed. Got a wild horse, dog, or cat story, breeding gone wrong, buyer beware, a riding mishap with a lesson? I want to hear it. If you're in the holistic or horse world and want to share your story or even promote your biz, head to rosalindthepetpsychic.com and text or email me. You might be featured on the podcast. Hey, welcome guys. Welcome to Rosalind the Pet Psychic. And this is a podcast and I have a guest with me. We're going to call her the Mississippi Queen because we're going to still keep things private. She is going to tell us about a horse trying to purchase. Disaster is probably the best way to call this. And she's going to tell us all about her experience with trying to purchase this one horse that she found on the internet. And we're just going to go from there. Miss Mississippi Queen, the search for the horse. What made you want to start looking for a horse? And how did you find this one?
So when I started shopping for a new horse, I was stepping up from the horse that I was using that was teaching me how to barrel race. And she was older. She was like 22 and solid 5D. Wasn't coming out of the 5D. So, and I was already getting to where I was overriding and outriding. So I was needing a little bit of a step up. And I knew that she was a horse broker, that she had a lot of horses come in and she had a lot of, sale ads and stuff that she was posting on Facebook. And it was around Christmas, close to Christmas. So, of course, there was like lots of horse ads and stuff. Saw her post probably 2 months back about Romeo, which was the name of the horse. And I just looked at him. I saved the post and I didn't want to jump too fast into something. And I was like, I'll come back. If he comes back up, I'll reach out to her. Well, another post come up and it was Romeo. And I finally reached out to her and I messaged her. And that's whenever I let her know what I was looking for. And that I wasn't looking for anything that was really fast. Like, wasn't trying to be in the 1D, was looking for my step up out of the 5D. Really went into detail about what I was specifically looking for. And we had conversations about Romeo. She was telling me all about him, that he was honest. He was, kid friendly, all the bells and whistles. Anything I wanted to hear, I heard and believed.
I read some of the interactions that you had and some of the posts that she had posted on Facebook. How much gaslighting, because that is what happened, how much gaslighting did she do in the text? Because she deleted those texts, which I didn't even know you could do. So everything you had, I was like, oh my gosh, it's gone.
I didn't even screenshot.
Yes. Like all you can screenshot was what you had wrote. You can see her name, but you cannot see any of the messages that she had wrote. They were all gone.
Within 2 minutes after the accident. That's how long it took her to delete those messages.
Oh my goodness.
Because once I got a little bit level and we were going down the road, I was like, ooh, our messages, unsent.
So let's back up a minute because they haven't even heard this story of what happened and why she has deleted these. But so listen, it's a cliffhanger. This is great. Y'all stay in tune with us. What was she telling you in the messages before, you had even met the horse?
He was super honest. She would tell me about his personality, where he came from. One message, which I know it was just trying to sell, was that his owners came down on his price. One of them was he was youth suitable. It was everything. It was all of the bells and whistles. When I would, in my messages, when I would talk about him or I would say, oh, well, he looks like, he's good or whatever, she would respond with, he's a good boy. He's super honest. He will do anything. He listens. Just all of that. Literally anything I was looking for and wanted to hear, that's what she told me.
And I also noticed that she really emphasized the whole great Christmas gift, and she would always add so many exciting.
Oh, he was a looker. He was beautiful.
Yeah, there were so many words attached to it. And it's funny because his first picture and his, like the first picture I saw that he posted, and now his confirmation had changed. And
he did not look the same.
No, he didn't.
It was not the same horse.
So, you could tell that she was feeding / possibly riding him. So he got some undersaddle. Mm-hmm. Did you have any red flags in the text messages and
No.
Okay. So tell me about the first day, or like how let me go look at the horse and all of that started.
When we agreed to meet and me try him out, we decided to meet at an arena that was close to where she was located. And that's fair, by all means. And she was a little bit late, which was fine. I'm late sometimes too. A friend that was with me, we decided to walk around the arena, just check it out. It's what we always do when we get to a new arena. We just check them out. And we noticed that there was a racetrack. I guess it was a practice track on the other side of it. And we walked down to it, and it had a pond in the middle of it. And that was neat. I'd never seen a racetrack, so it was neat. So we had scoped out the landscape ahead of time and waiting on her to get there, past time and whatever. Well, when she got there and she was unloading the horses, she had 2 of them. One of them was not for me. I don't know if it was for somebody else or whatever. When she unloaded them, they were sweaty. One of them was really sweaty and one of them was just a little bit sweaty. They had been ran.
The one that you were riding was really sweaty or wasn't?
He was a little bit sweaty. The one that she got off first that I was not there to look at was really sweaty. Like they had been ran, like put in a round pen or worked or something. That's kind of what it reminded me of.
And this is Christmas. So it's cold in Mississippi?
Yes. Okay. It was cold. We had jackets on. And I didn't think nothing then either. I was just like, oh, maybe they ran from her, because mine's ran from me before and I've had to chase them down and catch them. And it didn't click with me. That was another flag. When he got off the trailer, she did allow me to get his lead rope, and I tried to connect with him. I tried to talk to him a little bit and see if I could get a feel for him. And I couldn't. We were blocked. There was a block. Literally, like there was a wall between us. I looked in his eyes, and this is weird. I looked in his eye and there was no connection. It was just blank. And I was like, okay, this is not the horse for me. And that's how I took it. I was just like, we're not clicking. We're not jiving. And I looked at my husband and I said, he's not the one. And he said, you sure? And I said, yeah, because I told him that I would be able to tell whether or not the horse was the one. And I didn't know how to tell him I would know, but I just knew. I said that, and he said, well, what do you want to do? And I said, well, I'm going to ride him just to say that I tried it. I tried. I gave him a solid chance and tried. And he said, okay. Well, she goes to tack him up, and she uses all of her gear, and she allows me to use my saddle, but she wanted to use her own pad and stuff and headstock, and I understood that. She gets him tacked up, and she's doing something. I don't know if she's messing with the other horse or what she's doing, but I weasel away and go to the warm-up pen with him. And that's where we warm up. We do a couple of circles. At this time, I'm not nearly as advanced as I am now. So I didn't know all the buttons and everything. So he was honest in the aspect of I didn't know what I was doing. And he was patient with me when I was trying to ask for a trot out of the walk. But he did what I asked him to. And he was nice. He was not pushy. He was not spiteful in any way. He didn't seem like he was fixing to come out from underneath me. And when I sat, he stopped. There was no question about it. And shortly after warm up, she comes and she says,
so when you said weasel away, did you not ask her if you could go ride him? Did you they're all gonna
but I think she thought I was going into the arena with him, like in the arena. There was already, the barrels weren't set up yet, and I'm not one that just goes straight into the arena. Like I wanted to feel him. I was really trying to feel him. And let him know, like, hey, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm just trying you out, buddy. You might be coming home with me. But there was nothing. There was no connect. And I don't think it was necessarily his fault.
Okay. So I would agree with that. I don't feel like she said, I feel like there's pieces that, well, one, you were doing what you wanted to do. And two, there should have been more set up for it, but also maybe she just trusted you. I don't know. So whenever you started to warm him up, she came out there and stalked you?
Yes.
What happened there?
She did not want us in the warm-up area, and the fencing around the warm-up area was probably about 2 feet tall, just a little white piping fence just to outline it or whatever. She did not want us out there, acted like it was bad ground. It was sand.
Yeah. Well, okay, so that was a red flag. But, I can understand how barrel horse people are very funny about footing. So yes. And also if she didn't set you up and you also didn't give her the chance, because I don't want to
Well, at the time when I went to warm him up, she went in the big arena and was setting up the barrels. Because they lined up with each other, the warm-up pen and the big arena. And she come out. And when she came out, she saw me in there. And that's when she was like, don't ride in there. It's bad. It's bad ground. And I was like, no, it's not. But okay. And I did what she said. And I came out. And then she asked me if I was ready to try him out and ride him in the arena around the barrels. And I was like, yeah. And that's when it got a little scary.
When you were going from one arena to the other got scary?
No, when we swapped. When we went into the big arena, that's when everything changed.
So did he feel different?
Honestly, no. He was just strong.
So what oh, okay. So what do you think happened that shifted to make things feel different? Was it just because it was a bigger arena and did she say something? How was it different?
She didn't say anything per se, other than her trying to guide me through, and her tone and stuff. But a lot of barrel horses absolutely love their jobs. They get really, really excited. They start prancing and dancing and all of that pretty stuff. And if you're not familiar with that, it can scare you, because I have one that does that. And before I got used to her, I was like, I don't like it. She's dancing. But he didn't do none of that. He was fine going in. I remember the first time in, and I should have stopped there because I was shaky afterwards. When we went in, we went around the barrels and it was fine. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't pretty or anything. I was getting the feel of him. An honest horse is going to allow you to make those mistakes, and they're not going to be spiteful for it. So mind you, I'm still thinking he's this honest, kid-safe horse. He's going to be okay with me making a mistake here or there, because I have a trainer that I get lessons from once a week or twice a week, whatever. So it wasn't like I was going into this completely blind. I had a plan. We went around the barrels and it was fine. And I was able to break him back down and everything. Well, the second time we went in, I'm not sure what happened, but something switched and clicked from the second barrel to the third. And he, like a whole nother gear, rounded around it and struck out. And there was no stopping. Started pulling back from the minute we got around the third barrel. And I could not get him stopped. And we were going too fast to even think about doing the one rein stop, because we'd have both been on the ground and no telling what would have happened then.
So what happened after you come around that third barrel and you're pulling back? So tell the audience because this is the part of the story that's so big about trying this horse out to see if this is your barrel.
It happened so fast. From third out, I'm thinking about is stopping and hanging on, because I don't want to come off. Both hands on the reins, and we're coming out. We come out from underneath the alleyway into the open, and I see the sunshine, and I'm like, you have got to get off. I hear his hoof beats change from soft ground to hard, solid ground, and I'm a little bit panicky. All these thoughts are going through my head really, really rapid and fast. And in front of me, I see the same white fence that's around the practice arena. And I know that in front of it and across it is the racetrack and a pond. And I'm like, no. So it was everything in me to shift and get him to turn the best that I could. And the minute he turns just a little bit, we line up then with a ditch in front of us. And I remembered this ditch because we had already walked the landscape. We looked at everything. It had rained the night before, or a few nights, 2 nights before. That ditch was full of water. And in my head, I'm like, he's going to jump. And we're fixing to go in the woods because there's nothing. Once we get over that ditch, there was nothing to stop him.
This runaway horse, did you have any accidents or like did anything get hurt on you that you wish like you had a helmet, or how do you feel about that now? Because I know you wear a helmet with your current horse.
My eye socket, it's just a scar now. But literally you can still feel the bone, the little bump where it was fractured right there. And my front teeth, these three still need to be fixed. They have a crack going across them. These just got fixed. That's it. I do wear a helmet occasionally. It's just with my new horse, not all the time. When I first started out with her, yes. Any new horse that I'm not familiar with, yes, I wear a helmet.
Okay.
But if it is not mine personally, yeah.
Okay. All right. Just had to. So you have incurred injuries and had to fix things because of this. Yes. And dental is not cheap.
No.
So thank God that you were able to get up and walk away.
Yes. I'm very lucky, very fortunate. I had some guardian angels with me for sure because I think about it. And I remember hitting, and I remember being on my hands and knees in the water. And like I said, my body hit the water. My head hit the side of the ditch, and then I'm in the water, and I'm just kind of on my hands and knees, and I'm above the water, but I'm just kind of catching my breath a little bit. And I guess because the water was so cold, it kind of brought me back to from La La Land that I was trying to sneak off to, I guess. And my friend was able to get to me, and I picked my hand up and I pushed my hair back like that. And she goes, "Whoa, are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And she helps me up and she's like, "Are you sure you're okay?" And at this time, I have no idea that I'm bleeding at all. I don't feel anything other than the cold water. I'm in shock pretty much. I don't feel anything. And we walked back, and it's a pretty good ways to walk back. We walked back, and that's when he was giving her the what for.
Whenever you came off, did Romeo jump the ditch and head to the woods?
Yes.
Okay, so he was going to take you with him no matter what. It didn't matter what this way.
Regardless of, I knew I had to get off of him because where he was taking me with him wherever he was going, and I was not going for the ride. I was like, nope. I had to physically push myself off, and that was hard. I guess because you're not supposed to. And when I let go of the horn, I remember pushing and just throwing my body to get off, no matter which way it went. I was like, the ditch is right there, and I tried to line it up as best as I could. And that's what I was aiming for, was that ditch full of water.
Okay, well, I'm glad you're okay. And
it was very wild.
All right. Do you remember?
He ran back towards the road to the main entrance of the arena. She got up there before he did, so she shuts the gate. She gets him. This time, she still has not come and checked on me. When I walk back up to her, I am soaking wet and a drowned rat, and I have blood all down my face. And I don't know this. The two people that are with me, my husband and my friend, they know it. They're looking at me, and their eyes are big, and they're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." I'm still smiling. I'm like, "I'm fine." And they're like, no, you're not. And I get up there to her because my tack is on this horse. So I was like, you know what? We're not a match. Can I just have my saddle back and this is it? Because I did not realize at the time the severity of the situation, because I just wanted to get my stuff and go. I did not want to be there any longer. Nothing.
Plus you're soaking wet.
Yeah.
And it's December and it's cold.
So my husband gets my saddle and stuff, and he goes off on her, goes off. And I don't even remember what he said. I just remember being zoned out because, like I said, I got knocked stupid. So I'm just grinning back there ooh, he got you. And I get in the vehicle and we're leaving, and we're down the road like 2 minutes. And that's when I realized that she deleted all the messages that she ever sent. But she never once checked on me or anything. She never came to me. And I could try to break it down to make it make sense, but I would drive myself crazy. So I left it alone, and this is the first time I've actually openly talked about it in a year.
So after all of that happening, what red flags did you see at the beginning that they might have been little red flags, but what are you realizing with her? And I say this more with her character because the horse just wasn't trained and she
was aggressive verbally. She was 90 to nothing, like, meow. And pretty much one topic to another topic, but this within the same topics. I don't know how she was just real squirrely all over the place, kind of hyper, I guess would be the word. And that was in person. And that was the first time I'd ever like actually heard her or talked to her in person. Now on the phone, it wasn't like that, like texting. It was like just little messages or whatever, but definitely her personality. That was, and I knew it because I looked then and I was like, squirrely, because she was trying really hard, I guess, to make the sale, but she wasn't hearing me. Like she was hearing me, but she wasn't hearing me, because when I would say something or ask something, it was like she kind of danced around it a little bit and went off to something else. And I was just like, oh.
So what I'm hearing from her as a psychic is she's coming from a place of desperation. And maybe if you had to talk to her on the phone, you could have heard that in her voice and through her actions a little better. So that would be one thing, is like talk to these people in person. The other thing is, did she ever say, hey, I'll ride him first, or let me start him, or let me? Okay.
That's another thing I learned. They will ride their horse first from now on.
Okay, let's talk about the bit hackamore from hell apparatus is what I'm going to call it. Now,
it's not a hackamore. I have one.
I know. So what is it called? So the people that are horse people in here know what that is. Do you know what it's called?
I don't even know.
Okay, so I
just knew what it looked like, and I went and found it.
I'm gonna explain it from my visual point of view. And then you chime in with yours, and then I'm going to tell you what I saw that I don't know if you've seen. I mean, maybe you watched the video enough, but there's something that I saw that I was like, and I felt it, and I was like, oh, no wonder. So this bit, the part that like stung me so bad is a thicker wire or nose band to some degree. It looks kind of interesting.
With coiled wire.
With coiled. And here's the psychic part of that, because I'm feeling how this would feel on me. There's a coiled wire, almost like if you could imagine a candy cane, because there's that much space in between it. That is a pressure point apparatus or tool, is what I would say. Those wires, because it's not like a hackamore that fits flat and smooth or to the skin. It is raised because of the wire, and those hit pressure points, which means this is a very, like, I would be very nervous about riding a horse with this kind of thing, period. The other part of it is, tell me about the bit, because I don't even remember what the bit looked like on the inside. I feel like it looked like the outside, but tell me, do you remember?
I believe it was a twisted wire. I believe it was a twisted wire mouthpiece.
So the inside of this bit, and y'all go to my social media. It's Rosalind the Pet Psychic, and this is the Ride from Hell with the Mississippi Queen. And
literally.
Yes, it looks like a stiff, broken snaffle in the middle of it that's thin. And then a very, very harsh, almost the same thickness of the snaffle bit looking thing with a thick, probably, I don't know, 9-gauge or bigger wire wrapped around it with a curved chain. It's a massive looking shank. And we're going to post this.
It's very medieval looking, because I'm not bit savvy. Okay. I use what my trainer tells me to use. And when she explains it to me, I take it all in. When I saw that, I saw it, and I remembered looking at my friend, and she was, we were just like, it's okay. Just try them out. Can't be that bad. It was that bad.
So if you look at it, you would think, since that it has this wire thing on the nose piece, that's very hackamore-esque or whatever, in that category of, we're going to stop you with
it moved. It had like a, It was not fixed. It
No.
moved.
Exactly. You would think that between that and pressing and the broken snaffle in the inside, pressing on the roof of the mouth, this thing would not have the ability to even run away. Like you would not.
Right.
So what I saw on the first, and I also thought that it needed to be more fixed to do its job, or when you would
Right.
pull back, it would be able to do its job. So when with the first thing that I saw that was like the psychic thing, and you could tell me if I'm wrong and I'm okay. When you ran in the second time and I'm seeing that video, that thing's flopping. So it's not even engaging and doing what it's supposed to do. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, I didn't even know when I first saw that video. I was like, he's going to run away with her and she doesn't have any stopping power. It's supposed to do something or it's supposed to fit differently and it's not. And he already is biting that. He's already in his face, grinding down, doing what he wants to do.
He was a little bit tense. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he wasn't mean. He wasn't, like.
His energy is different from in the arena to what his energy was outside of the arena in the small arena. The thing that I really liked about him, and I say this because to me, he's not at fault.
Right.
He is willing to work and do his job and he wants to do his job. He just doesn't have the full training. The other thing that blew my mind when I'm watching the video is actively saying, like, he can't do that. Pull back. Or something to that degree. You need to pull back on him. He's not ready for that. He's not ready for that. And I'm like,
No, it's me. She's saying, I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for speech. She's degrading me as a writer.
So I believe you, but there is also, I thought I heard that she also said he's not ready for that. And maybe I didn't hear it from her, but energetically, in her, she is saying he's not ready because he's not.
Right.
Because she didn't set you up or him up for success because he wasn't trained properly. And she also didn't let you know that. And that's why and I am kind of baffled that she would even have done this because of how he is and how she knows he is. That was a little bit, and that's also what kind of kept hitting me is she knows he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing. And she set you up and put you on this horse anyways. She knows this, but she's so desperate for money. And it's like you said, she's so energetically, what I would say, like so energetically high. Yeah. Struggling that she has to do whatever she can. And she just prays, like she's just thinking, okay, well, this'll work. And maybe this girl can ride better than.
Right. That's exactly what I feel she was hoping for.
Yeah, she didn't give you, she didn't give you the chance or him the chance to really do well at this. And the thing is that both of y'all have about this horse, even though he has a disconnect, because when I first felt him, when you first met him, he has not been able to soften up in his life with humans because he can't trust them. He hasn't been able to figure out how to trust them, but he is a good enough horse that he can, and he also has the ability to do he has this big ability to do barrels at a good, class, but he needs someone that can work with him and is nice and calm and can teach him. And that is not her.
No. And if she'd have just let me know that, we could have figured something out,
Because when you looked at him and couldn't see him, it was because he was in fear of messing up, not being good enough, not knowing where he's going to go. And also, no, I know it makes me sad too, and I didn't mean to like.
Oh, it's okay. I know they have feelings and stuff, and that's kind of how I read it. Was he shut himself off?
Yeah, he's protecting himself. He's not a horse that needs to be around people that have a lot of energy.
Mm-hmm.
He needs a calm, safe place.
Quiet.
She has too much. He doesn't have enough grounding. Is the best way to put it. For him, because he needs like slow, steady grounding and support because he's not mean. The only reason he ran off is he thought he was doing what he was supposed to be doing. He thought he was like, and also he got a little, not that this is a health thing. This is kind of how horses see anyways. Going from bright light to dark arena is different.
It's so much different. It affects them.
Yes.
Sunlight and shade, when you come in and out of it, it throws shadows and stuff in their eyes, and they're like, it does.
Yeah, their eyes don't dilate as fast as our eyes do. It takes them, like, for when I've read, 45 minutes. And that was one thing that threw him off. And also, he just couldn't figure out, like, he knew he was supposed to go. So he just went. So he just did what he was just doing what he was supposed to do. But also, the other part of that is he couldn't connect with you through that bridle. There was a whole block.
There was no communication, no feeling. There was nothing between me and him other than I was glued to that saddle because I was not coming out of it.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Have you seen that horse anymore? Have you? Okay.
I've looked for him because I was curious. I was like, I hope she didn't just off him or send him off or whatever. And I know he had owners, and I didn't get all the information on it, but I had enough information that, and I know what he looks like. Like I said, he was a looker. I felt confident that if I ever saw him again, I would recognize him.
He didn't have owners. She was his owner, and she got him from a sale. That's the first thing that comes off to me. He didn't have.
That makes a lot of sense.
That's why because she
didn't know I remembered asking for his history, if he had any quirks or funny business and that kind of stuff. And she said, no, absolutely no funny business.
When you asked for more pictures, because I read that part, it was because she hadn't had him long enough to give you more pictures, because she didn't have pictures because he didn't have an owner for her to go contact. This was her money. This was her needing to flip it to make money. And she thought if she put that strong enough bid on him that it would stop him from running, but it didn't engage. It didn't work because she didn't.
See, I feel deep down that he come off of a racetrack, and when I tightened my legs to hang on, he was just like, go, because that's what racehorses do. And there was no way out of that at that point. We were already going. But I have always gone back to those few seconds, like from the third barrel and out unto me coming off on the ditch. I remember like what my body did and everything. And I literally, once we came from the shadow to the light, my body locked into the saddle. And I mean, I wasn't like squeezing the life out of me with my legs, but I was hanging on, and I was hanging on the saddle horn. And knowing now about racehorses, when you squeeze, they think it means go. So I was like, well, it was my fault. But the thing was, what if I had taken my kid to try him out that day? Because he was used suitable if they could ride at his. That's always haunted me a little bit.
Here's the other thing. She's done this before, like several times.
When I started talking about the accident and people knew what happened, the horse community, I was told that when you buy from her, you have to sign a contract saying that you will not talk about her. You won't talk about the horse. You won't talk about her. You won't badmouth her, all that stuff. People said, there's someone in my community that has bought a horse from her, still has this horse, can't do anything with this horse, because every time they get into the arena, even close to it, this horse rears up. It literally, and it's a kid that rides this horse, or that did, it would rear up, and one time it flipped over, and luckily she was able to get off before anything bad happened. Because when he reared up, she kind of bailed, and then he flipped over. That happened, and now this horse is just freeloading in their pasture because they refuse to sell it or send it off or anything like that because they don't want it to happen to somebody else. But they signed the contract that it's something along the lines of they won't talk about her, they won't speak on her, whatever.
So did you Google her?
No.
Have you ever Googled her?
No.
You should Google her and then get back to me. And I say this because there's I don't know if it's your neck of the woods, and I also say this for the whole audience. These people have been trained this is how they work. I know that there is a mother-daughter that do the same thing. You have to sign contracts where you don't talk about it, all these kind of things, because they are not ethical horse traders. And if you have a horse or someone that gives you a contract to that extent, that is a no. That is you don't buy this horse. And for the people that are worried about, well, what happens to the horse? They are and I say this because I've gone through this with so many clients. They're okay. It's going to be okay. Someone is going to have a home for them. And if it's not okay here on earth, it will be okay in Soul's world. And we have to live with that anyway.
Yeah.
So that does not mean that you interrupt your life because you have an untrustworthy horse trader that you're dealing with.
See, I didn't I was never told about the contract. We didn't make it that far. Apparently it's given at purchasing, the purchasing time, and that's when it.
And I that's a great question to ask at the very beginning. Why we're doing this is because we want to teach people how.
Yes, I don't want it to happen again.
Yeah, we don't, with the red flags, how do we make this an experience for other people to learn from? And it's one of the questions you can ask is, do you make people sign a contract, and can I see that contract before I even look at your horses? And if they ghost you, or they say yes and they don't send it to you, and they keep pushing as a salesperson and gaslighting you and fluff and all this stuff, then that's another red flag. And I know emotionally we get involved and want to buy it just like a new car. However, there's new cars on other lots. There are horse traders that are very ethical and would never do anything to put you in a situation where you get hurt or could get hurt, because that's liability.
Right.
That is why she grabbed that horse and she got away from you.
She did fast.
Quickly, because she is on that cusp of getting sued or going to jail or something happening because she does things so unethically. So here's the other thing I have to bring up that I want people to get educated about is I read your Facebook messages and things like that. You gave her too much information. You know that you got into the feels of it and these things like that. And one thing that you can always say is, if this is a youth horse, then really good trainers and really good traders have youth in their life. Okay, great. Show me a video. Can you send me a video of a youth riding this? Prove to me before I even put my time and invest in my gas and all this into this horse, that this really is a youth horse. Like, I have trainers and traders that are friends that have video footage of youth riding it, because they know that will, one, jack up the price and in a good way, but I would pay for a horse of youth and ride it.
Absolutely.
True.
Like, in my mind, if it's youth suitable, it's me suitable.
And whenever you're thinking about asking these traders questions of things that you need, keep those questions in mind and then see if they can give you evidence, not verbal. I need video. I need pictures. I need some of the things that you have on your list that you want from a horse. They should be able to provide it to you some way before you ever go and ride this horse. And then if it is a horse for the youth, they need to ride it first before anybody at that place. And then you need to ride it. And then or go take it to the trainer before you ever put a youth on it, because that's another, you don't know these people, and kids sometimes they don't bail. Sometimes they hang on.
They don't know any different.
Yeah, exactly. So is there any other questions that you have? I've kind of gone through some of my psychic stuff all throughout this. Is there anything you want to add? So my other question is, did you get a horse? Have you found a horse?
I did.
Okay.
Her name is Reba. She's probably twice the size of Romeo. So size was not the issue.
Why are you saying size was not the issue?
Because she was really verbally bringing me down, like saying that I was not ready, I couldn't ride. One of the questions, she's like, can she even ride? Like, that wasn't caught on video, but she said that.
So she said this when you're trying him out.
Yeah, like, this is all going down while I'm, like, riding him. She's like, she's not ready for that. I don't think she's ready. She needs to go back. She's not ready for a horse like that. And
this is before he even did anything.
Yeah, it was before anything ever happened.
So I'm just curious to all the trainers out there, if you feel like someone can't ride your horse and you're trying to sell it, what do you do? Do you stop them? Because to me, that means that they don't have the skills to ride it. And I wouldn't want somebody to let my horse run away with them if that's, but I also wouldn't put someone on a horse that the horse could possibly run away with. So I just need to know from the trainers and the traders out there, like, what am I missing in this, except for after she's already tearing you down?
As a horse person, and I have horses, and I have people that come over and they'll be like, oh, I want to ride. Can I ride? I take in what each person knows. If they have any knowledge, most of the time they don't have any. So what do they get on? They get on the kid's horse, the one that's grandma safe, mother-in-law safe. You can put anybody on that horse because I know that they're okay. And regardless of what they do as a rider, the horse is gonna just chill and be fine and not do anything crazy to scare them or to bring their confidence down and stuff. And her as a horse trader and whatever she is, she should know that. She should be able to tell. And whenever I sent the message specifically stating I was not looking for speed and what level I was looking for, that told her anything and everything that she needed to know right there as well. It was just a matter of her not listening to me. She didn't hear me. She heard me, but she didn't hear me.
I hear you. So you have seen her since this.
Oh, yes.
What was that experience like?
The first time I wanted it to be messy. I wanted to pop off. I was like, oh, it's her. But I had to let it go really quick because the new horse that I got requires every bit of my attention. She's not crazy or anything. She's just anxious like I am. And if I'm not in the correct mindset, she's not in the correct mindset. So I had to let it go as quickly as it came. And I was frustrated for seeing her. And I put her in the back of my mind. And later that night, we rode. We were, it was time to ride or whatever. Reba and I ran, and we ended up beating her, all three of her horses. And in her action shots, my husband is accidentally posted up in every one of them. And he's just watching. We're not familiar with this arena. There's no stands or anything, so he's literally just standing in the corner watching. But he is caught in every one of our pictures. And I made the joke, and I said, well, if she wants any of her action shots, she's going to either have to get him edited out or deal with him.
Did she seem like she was trying to sell more horses there? Do you see her on Facebook a lot? Did she block you on Facebook?
She blocked me, but she's still actively selling horses. I know that probably 2 of the 3 horses she had at the arena that night was client horses or for sale. Because that's what they do. They just take them and ride them and show them and all that kind of stuff.
That's how they sell them.
So I know that 2 of them were. And I met some other brokers and some other people that I know her and are familiar with her. And I was like, y'all are acquaintances? And you kind of have to be careful and just smile and don't say anything because you don't know which way they go and stuff. And I finally just came out and I was like, this is what happened. And just in case she's ever said anything, this is the truth. And I sent it all to the mutual friend that I met at the arena that night. And they were like, don't mess with her before you get yourself killed. Don't mess with any other horses from her. If you're shopping for a horse, let somebody else know so they can get you in the right direction with the right people, good people, so that you don't get yourself hurt or killed. And I was like, yeah, I know that now.
So for all the audience is listening, would this also be a time when you would say, if you're looking at buying a horse, that you need to ask other people in that person's area?
Yes.
And just because listen, the horse community groups on Facebook are fierce and they are protective and in a good way.
Uh-huh.
It seems like even though we might not be saying these people's names on here, you can go to the Facebook groups in those areas and find out if this person has a good or not so good reputation.
I would suggest do it quietly. Do it verbally with your small knit group. Don't do it publicly, on Facebook yet that you're looking, because you don't want everybody knowing your business and what you're looking for and whatnot. Word of mouth travels really fast.
Yeah, especially in the horse world.
Yeah. And I can contact you, ask you a question. You may not know the answer, but you have a friend 2 houses down that knows the answer. Kind of works like that. And if the reason I say do it quietly is because if you post it on Facebook, sometimes you get kind of unwanted opinions that you didn't want. So go quietly to your group that you're close with, you're comfortable with, that you trust, that you would take advice from. Those are your people that you're going to want to listen to, regardless, because they're the ones that want nothing, but the best for you. They want good. They have good interests, all of that. And you don't have everybody in your business.
Is this how you found Reba? Is from all of
Yes.
everything that you learned? So can you just briefly tell me how you found her?
So Reba belonged to an 8-year-old boy at the time, and he was going through some stuff and getting out of horses, and she come up for sale. Well, they used her for a broodmare for a really couple years probably after they got her, and she had 2 foals, I think. And let me think. She came up for sale, and the ad was, and I knew her. Like, I knew the horse. I'd seen the kid ride her. That's what it was. Sorry, let me back up a little bit. He had a horse, and it passed away. It was an older horse, and it was time for him to cross over, and they did all that, and he passed, and the boy decided he wanted to run one more time. I think he went to BBR World Finals or something like that, and they wanted to give him a solid chance, and they knew that Reba was a barrel horse for youth at one time, so they literally pulled her out of the pasture, cleaned her up, took her to Oklahoma and to Florida, ran her, and he ran her, and he came back, and I think he decided that he just didn't want to do it. He wanted to go a different route, and that's okay. And she came up for sale, and the ad was, ride her or breed her, your choice, you can't go wrong. And I said, what? So then I started asking questions about her. I wanted to know everything. I wanted, all of it. And I knew the kid. Like, I've seen the kid ride her, seen the videos, all of it. So there really wasn't a lot of needing video evidence and whatnot. So we get her, and I'm scared. There's no hiding it. You can tell I'm scared because the first little while I have a helmet when I ride her, and I'm not dissing helmets. Love them. Use them when you need to, whatever. It's self-choice. But because of that, I have a whole different perspective on things. So I have my little helmet on, and she is the sweetest. At the time, now we jive and we get along, and she's like, oh, I'm just going to test you a little bit. At the time, she was literally so sweet and so careful and quiet. She didn't even make a wrong step or flinch or anything with me. And I think it's because she knew I was scared. I was nervous. We have been together a year now, and we went from slow, and this is slow for her. She's right at 17 hands. We went from 22 second runs to 15.9. It took a year, but it took a year to build my confidence back up and to realize you do know how to ride. Like, stop letting something like that get in your head. Like, stop questioning yourself. You know what you're doing. You have lessons. This is what you train for. All of it. Like, stop letting that bother you. But it was like when the accident happened, everything I knew about riding went out the window. That's what it seemed like. It's like I completely forgot everything I knew and had to start over.
Do you think, and I'm saying this because I have ridden and had horses, it feels like I got a vacuum just sucks your ability out, and you question it, you don't understand. Did you have to keep training your brain and telling you've got it and you're good and you're brave and you're strong to get your feelings back?
Yes, because this is how I learned if I'm not in the right mindset, she's not going to be either. I would get nervous, anxious, and worked up, and I would start panicking on the inside. Like, you can't do this. And all it was me remembering, because she's big and she's strong, but it was just little parts that would bring up little flashbacks or memories of Romeo. And it was running out of the arena. For the longest time, I was scared of running out of the arena. And I would just keep telling myself, she stops. She stops. And she stops. Literally. As big as she is, she stops on a dime.
So for the guest, the audience listening, hopefully this is the biggest gift I can give anybody. When you have energy, that when you have a situation with a horse and you're not as confident as you are or were, the one thing that what happens is it kind of like sucks that energy out of you, and you can't find it because it's floating around in the ethers, if you want to get into the psychic energy part of it. So you have to call it back to you. And so you have gone through the process of calling it back because it left. It's not gone completely. It's not gone. A lot of times we know deep inside we can do this, but it's so deep. Feels like it's so far away. We don't even know how to get there. And how you get there is your mental conversation about how you feel about yourself, and you have to call it back in. I'm brave. I know where to stand. I know what to do. I know how to ride. I know how to stop. She's going to stop for me. I trust her. I trust me. I lived through that accident to talk about it. I will live through more. I wear a helmet. You have to bring back all of your confident, positive things and build it back up. Nobody can give that back to you. You're the one that has to say, I can do this. I can handle whatever step, whatever comes in front of me. I'm brave and I know more, and it will be okay. And so when you do that, that's when you're just bringing it back into you and building it back up. Because if you really want to know the truth, horses have to do that to themselves all the time. They have to make the choices, and they get that from us. She calms down because you're projecting calm. She amps up because you're projecting amp.
Yeah.
So that is, and so she's feeding off of what you're giving her. And so when you give her, I'm safe and I'm strong and I trust you and you trust me, then that's the energy bubble that you put yourselves in.
It took us a little bit. She had been passed around prior to the little boy. He had only had her 3 years, maybe. We did some background searching on her, and I think she had been passed around about 7 times. She was a racehorse from Louisiana. She didn't make it on the track, obviously, because if she doesn't want to, she's not going.
She red.
She's a diva. She's bay.
She's bay. Is she more red bay than dark bay?
Yeah, she is more red bay.
Yeah, she feels like a chestnut. So
she is a diva.
She is, yes.
All the way. I call her Reba Diva because I talk to her just like me and you were talking, and I'm like, come on, honey, let's go. And I can just hear her. And I'll be like, you're fine. We're fine. We're going to be fine. We're going to get through this. It's just, we've overcame a lot together. She would get nervous in certain settings, in arenas and stuff. And I learned different things that I could do with her to help her calm down the nervousness. And it would help me too. And it's playing with her mane. And if my hand's busy, I'm not thinking because I'm just playing with her mane. And then she's okay because I'm just playing with her mane.
Because she's a princess. She loves.
Yes. She's such a diva.
And diva not in the way of like.
Like just that.
Yes. She's so good. Is there anything else that you want to add or you feel like people need to know?
Trust your gut. Go with it. And if that's not the horse and you know it right then and there, don't prove nothing. You don't have to prove anything. You don't have to ride it to say that you rode it and that you gave it a chance. It's just not. And that's.
And if you feel guilty for going there and they brought the horse all the way there and you didn't feel it, ask them to ride it.
Exactly.
And because you don't have to. This is one step at a time. And if your negative pole went up, as my trainer would say, if you got a negative feeling, then how do you break it down for yourself? Let them ride it. You didn't necessarily come to ride it. You're just coming to look at it and feel it out. And then if they don't want to ride it, thanks, bye.
Yeah, for real. Because
you definitely don't want to get on it.
There are too many good horses out there waiting for you to find them. Don't waste an opportunity just because.
And just like with Romeo, when she said she didn't see me in his eyes, she didn't connect with him, his soul leave. The soul can leave. We do that. When we get emotionally or upset or in a situation, your soul
disassociate.
You would disassociate. And so animals will disassociate to keep themselves safe until they feel safe enough that they can bring that soul in. And that is what Romeo is looking for. He's either looking for someone to come and help him to bring his soul in, or he's looking to not be there physically anymore. And he can just and they sometimes realize they just can let go and they'll just go downhill with sickness or whatever. And they're okay because their soul's okay. It's the physical that we are so attached to. But a lot of times that's just a moment in time. Mm-hmm. So just know that. So, okay. Well, perfect. Well, listen, Mississippi Queen, this was fantastic. Thank you for being on this podcast. Thank you for educating and bringing your story to light. I hope people really learn some valuable things from this and also know that they're not the only ones out here that are dealing with this kind of thing. And if you want to see more of this podcast and more things, follow me on Rosalind the Pet Psychic on all the socials that way. And I love you guys. And I just want all of us to have happy, healthy horses. All right. Bye.
Bye.